We got no appointments. Do we have a public hearing?
No.
I thought we had a public hearing that we had to do. That's what I thought I read on your text. Just this afternoon. Nothing,
Nope.
Tom?
Just a public session. I
Yeah,
think.
just,
public
yeah, I'm
session.
sorry,
Okay.
just public session is what I meant.
Unscheduled comments. Go ahead, Ralph.
Hey, thank you folks very much, very, very much for the polished up eternal flame of truth up there. Brought a few pictures in, I shared them with Charlie.
I just shared them, Ralph. Yeah.
There's a slight difference, and I'm hoping that, in the future, some townsfolk can get together and, do a little fundraising effort to bring it closer to resembling the original eternal flame of truth. There's an artsy factor there that Ernie Ballou had explained to me when I was 9 years old. Those 4 or 5 little flames outside of the center flame, it would take sunlight and it would reflect and bounce around those smaller flames, and it would actually look like that flame was flickering in the sunlight. So without those little ones, that large flame is going to reflect light, and it will be nice and shiny. And again, I can't thank this.
Ralph, why don't you come up and I
We
want to show
found
you a
something, I
picture.
wanna show you something.
We want to show you a picture of the day it came off, so I can show you.
So
you
this
can see the
is
difference.
yours, and I think we all are in agreement that that's definitely three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Those things were there, and this was about a year and a half ago, right? This is when it came off.
Wow.
Can you see the markings of the same flame?
Yeah.
So those probably were resting on that,
Yeah.
and then this is a better view of it. See how you can see, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
they were covering that.
right.
But I've checked, and hopefully I'm gonna get a picture from the guy that did the roof, that he was up there, they took a picture of it, I think, before it came down. So I'm thinking what happened, these things might have come off in the
I'm
last.
sure they were deteriorated to
Yeah.
the point of, is it salvageable, is it not salvageable? So with that being pointed out to me, it only strengthens my resolve to try to get community action going, and perhaps in the future, maybe within the next 50 to 100 years,
Okay,
we could, bring it back to.
Ain't gonna be no need to go up there in a while.
yeah.
No,
But I just wanted you to see that when they took it down, set it down, it doesn't show that, but it does show kind of the outline of that,
Yeah.
the old copper thing. So it may be, but I'm just trying to think that maybe it wasn't there when we took it down. It had come down, because your pictures are a year or so,
February,
February.
yeah.
So,
Of this year or 24? I thought you had said 24.
It probably,
Yeah,
it was 24.
that's
yeah,
okay. But we'll figure it out.
yeah. No, that's definitely, it's a good cause for sure, because that's what really makes it look like a flame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And then
neat.
when it reflects the sunlight, you're not gonna see it at night.
Right.
It's not gonna be an eternal flame of truth until it gets daylight again, or.
Yep.
But I drove down through and it's definitely beautiful.
Oh, it
It's
is.
beautiful.
It's-
Good
and-
job.
I can't thank
Yeah.
this board and the administration enough for making that happen. Thank you.
Well, taxpayers paid for it, so we thank them, I guess. Okay, you all set, bud?
Sometime.
All right. Unfinished business. Lease purchase of ambulance. Expected update on the figures. Have we got that?
Yes, I do. I've got some handouts for the board. 1, 2, 3. And then I've got one for you to sign, Mr. Chair. Once you guys are all in agreement, I'm just gonna slide that one down there. Thank you. So that's the signature one. There's only a spot for one signature. But the front page, ladies and gentlemen, is that new revised date. Remember the date we had to go into July?
Yeah.
So that's what brought that payment up. It's just a slight increase from there. And as a matter of fact, the guy that is putting this together thinks that it's closer to 81,000 than it is to 88. So we've got time with him. He's gonna finalize his numbers. The contract we're trying to get is on the next page. You can see it's for the 403. I was in touch with Chief Nason tonight, before the meeting. We have approximately $250,000 in the capital reserve account for rescue vehicle. And the purchase loan would be $150,000, be 2 installments as you saw. And then that third page is the breakdown of where the 403 comes from. And the last page is just an email from the gentleman building, or actually selling the truck to Chief Nason.
So we didn't have to pay no sales tax?
That part we haven't done yet, Charlie. This contract, we'll just order it and get it going to us. And then I go through the purchasing company like we did with the dump truck.
So it's gonna be lettered and everything, yeah?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Do we have to motion this? to
If we
accept it?
could, please, yeah. Motion, and if we could, inside of the motion, have Charlie be the authority to sign that
I'll make a
contract.
motion that we authorize Charlie to sign the contract for the fire rescue vehicle in the amount of $403,000, $300, $403.
Oh, $300.
$403,300.
Do we want to say anything about payment plans, like determine the lease? in
I
that
think what I would
motion,
prefer
or-
to do is that'll get the vehicle, and then when I
Okay.
bring you the lease or purchase contract, we'll do that.
Do that,
Yeah.
okay.
Please.
And then we have to decide, we do the warrant articles, if we put the whole amount in there.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
all right. With the first and the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Jill signed.
Thank you,
Okay.
Charlie.
Police cruiser bids.
None.
None.
We got none?
We have none, and I'm just gonna turn it over to Tony just for a second. She had a conversation with Chief Fenton about his option. Is that correct?
I believe Chief Fenton had said that if he didn't get any bids, he would like to hold on to the vehicle and use it as a trade-in with McFarland when he goes to purchase his new one.
That's, I was thinking the same thing, I said, because it seems like we're getting more money on the trade-ins than we are when we put them
Yeah,
out the
I'm
bid.
surprised that we didn't bother doing that to begin with.
Yeah,
Is this the second time we put this one out to
Yes.
bid?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's too much money for a bid, for a auction. You know what I'm saying? Because we've got a $8,000 start on it.
Right.
And it's just too much. And we had that one that had 5, so if we can get more than 5 with the trade-in, then we're ahead of the game.
Okay. Okay. So just by consensus, I guess the board is in agreement with Chief Fenton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Highway safety grant.
Yes, this is a clarification or an amendment to minutes of the June 11th minutes, where there was a motion by Mrs. Williams to move and accept the highway safety grant in the amount of $10,500, and Mr. Duffy seconded that. The motion passed 3-0. There's somebody over there with this grant office that needs new wording, and the select board, their new wording is the select board in a majority vote accepted the terms of the highway safety grant as presented in the amount of $10,500. They're both saying the same thing, but it's the word majority that they have to have. So we would like a motion to amend to that last sentence of that
Have
paragraph.
those already been approved?
The 11th, yeah, the June 11th
The
have been
June
approved.
11th minutes.
Okay,
Right.
all right,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll make that motion, then we make a correction to the minutes to put the word majority in there.
Yep, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Oh, the wording to add,
Yes.
to amend the wording.
To amend the wording of the
Of the
motion.
word, yep,
Right.
yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, comp time policy.
It's in your packets, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to skip that. I prefer to have we didn't mesh well. Chief Fenton and I didn't realize that he was away when I brought this on, put it on.
Okay.
He'd like to be here for that, so
Okay.
if we can just wait one more meeting.
Yep,
Okay,
Thank you.
Again, this is gonna involve the
personnel policy
personnel.
again.
Yeah, exactly. So we're starting to stack up stuff for
Yeah, I
that.
started going through that, there are some,
I mean, and I understand bringing it and talking about it, but I'm not, I feel like sometimes I don't know, we're not approving it at the time, right? So
Correct.
it's just kind of giving an idea.
I just want your
But-
feeling if the board is okay with it, because it was resurrected during the default budget.
Oh,
Okay?
it was.
Yeah, it was resurrected, and we just want to make sure if we want to rewrite that, if we want that as a
As a
permanent thing.
permanent thing,
Yeah.
okay.
all right, we'll move on to new business. We have a purchase order. We got a boiler problem
Yes.
in the town hall, or which, the public safety
That's
building?
public safety, that's the fire police department.
Okay, I remember now.
Yep, and chief was aware of that, so he was preparing for this.
This is a purchase order for $14,200 to replace the boiler at the public safety building. Can I get a motion to accept that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Who did it? Admiral?
Admiral?
Admiral, Cameron, yeah. All right, capital reserve expenditures. We got a GWRC, what's that, got the resource center,
Yes.
of 5,000. That must be for a
These are
payment
my
for the
copies.
painting.
I'm just setting them out, just so I can follow them.
Yep,
And that's something that we take care of because it's in, I thought we took
outside.
care of outside.
yeah.
We do, and that's painting outside.
This is
Oh,
the-
this is, it says, oh, exterior, I thought it said interior,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
This is the second payment? For-
Correct.
Yeah,
For 5,000. Can I get a motion to pay that?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Invasive species, $3,000, looks like to Pine River Pond Association payment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's leaving a balance of 2435, so we're not really. that's-
Right.
That's about it.
Yep, that's it. That must be the last one.
We have a landfill closure payment of $6,459.58. Mandatory groundwater permit service. So I guess we got no choice to pay that one.
Nope.
I'll make that motion. Accept and pay that.
I'll second it. That was remaining balance of 248, 625 and 62 cents.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We also have a landfill closure payment of $2,727.50. This is a mandatory post-closure compliance. What the hell is that?
It's all testing. It's
I was just-
renting,
yeah,
yeah,
just
renting
ask that.
equipment, testing the wells,
Yeah,
yeah.
So they still test
How long
all
do we
that
have
on
to do
top of
that?
the,
forever?
Until,
Yeah.
until we have a wastewater treatment.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much, because if they spike, that's when they're gonna say, you know, you better get going.
Yeah.
Did you make that motion?
no, I don't think I did, but I will.
All right, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have two more that
Yeah.
are not.
We
Yeah.
have two more?
Two more
Yeah.
that were not on the list.
Would you read them, please?
Yes. Emergency Management Capital Reserve has a current balance of $55,207.64. The request is for $3,856.14, leaving a balance of $51,351.50. And this is all for tree work after one of our storms. From a storm in 2023, 24?
Three, but it's.
Okay, that was gonna be my
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Okay.
So, we're just getting caught up with that, it's all been finalized, and that's the amount.
Yeah, look like you got the edging down Canal Road too, so.
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
I wrote down it the other day there. I'll
It
make
was-
that motion.
Same storm,
I'll
right?
second
I think it
it.
was the same
All
storm.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, obviously, this is an outstanding one that we just found out about.
Yep.
Is that what happened? Okay.
That's what happened.
All right, and it looked like he might have gotten it on, the invoice date is 8/9. It's just something, if we can try to make sure that they're all together, if we could make sure, instead of having these sporadically
Yeah,
come in. It just, I know it can happen, but if, it's just easier if everything's all in one.
understood. Yep.
I think the timing of this is was the ability to do it, right?
This tree trimming.
Because they were doing a lot of the edging and stuff, like I was just telling Dino, rode down Canal Road the other night, it looks like he's got that all edged.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I saw
he's
that.
up
That
in East
looks good.
Wakefield now. He's done them,
Yeah.
he's done them all,
Yeah.
so he's
Yeah.
catching up now.
Yeah, this was.
I think
this
he's
was-
having some issues right now with the grader, but,
Yeah, he is.
yeah.
Did we make that motion?
I
You
did.
made that motion, and you said, and you voted on it. so you-
Yeah.
All right.
Move right along.
Yeah, you was running around helping me today, thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without you.
And you said you had another one?
Yes, yep. This is for town hall improvements. The current balance is $111,471.07. The request is for $40,000 even. That leaves a balance of $71,471.07. It is the second of roughly 3 payments for the roof.
Okay, so we did not get that one then. Is that
Correct.
sent to us?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Usually the roofing company could carry us. They had that boom longer than expected because of some different angles that we have over here with the connector and of course the clock tower. So that's expensive to keep per week. And of course the teams here more, a little bit longer. They're a little bit longer than they expected, but they're just about done.
Yeah,
They've done a great job.
it does, it looks really nice.
And I like that they, like, I drive by a lot of times later in the evening, and they're out there picking up and
Yeah,
picking
they
up
Oh,
all
it's
their
clean.
stuff. It's
They've
It's
always
like-
been clean.
There is nothing left on the ground.
Yep,
when
no,
They're
they're
done, which
cleaned
is
up.
nice.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Unscheduled comments?
Dino,
Go ahead, man.
Dino, did you get anything from Lino about, the proposed equipment purchase for the station?
I think he spoke to Mark. I didn't get anything in writing or anything like that. I had,
He was gonna submit it to Michelle, I think.
Was he?
Yeah.
All right,
Because-
that's why Lucas came in.
oh, because he was mentioning something to me like I knew about it and I didn't remember it, and he
Okay.
said I did talk to Mark.
Okay, so that's, I don't know if Lucas wants to say anything about it right at this point. If you haven't seen it, you probably have no questions.
No, at the last meeting, I was pretty much letting them know that it was gonna be coming and
Right.
that we should support it because it's gonna be a lot of great upgrades up there.
I have the quotes and whatnot right in front of me right now. I don't know if you guys want to take a look at it.
Do you wanna,
I don't care, do you wanna?
yeah, I think we should, because
Yeah,
I
bring it
like
up,
to give them
Lucas.
the go-ahead, just, the money's there.
Give it to, you take it.
That's one I have.
Give it to Mark.
There's 3 separate files. That's the majority of it from Kiko Media.
My computer works different than that one.
Yeah, I know, really.
You gotta boot yours up.
So where's the scroll
the-
bar? Yeah, I can't see it.
I don't see it. Is it something that's
How do they change it?
scrolling? Where do you? Oh,
Oh,
there
There's
we
2
go.
fingers, I'm sorry. I believe the list should be the second or third page
I
down.
can't
and
read
the
that.
grand total is way further down.
It's sensitive.
We do have multiple quotes, not just from Kiko Media, but as well from Castus, the provider we use to stream out to Spectrum. So I have a total, and there's also a list of items that Keycode wasn't able to fulfill. So I just made a list based off of sale prices on Amazon and other retailers. So the grand total would be $23,940.86. That'd be great upgrades that need to happen.
That's that and whatever is here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
so
you know-
there's 3 quotes on there,
Mhm.
Castus, and then there's Kiko Media, and then just my list I compiled.
Do we have the money in the
Oh,
the
yeah,
account?
yeah, we
They've
got
got
plenty, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
not
the-
our, well, I don't wanna say whose money it is, but they have it in their account.
That's what I,
And you guys
From the
basically just
franchise fee.
authorized to say, yep, go ahead and get it if you need it, and
Well,
they're,
yeah, it's a town account and they make a request and we pull out, correct? Yeah.
They usually make several requests that aren't detailed, and I'm quite sure that the town is up to date on that.
Yep.
So you probably have already received the money that you need to do this, it's already in your account?
I don't know that it is, so I won't say it is.
Be- Because
Like a
obviously
board.
you fund it through the franchise
Franchise
fees.
fees, yeah,
That is all the money you have to give them.
right.
Right.
So if it's an extra 23,000 and we
Because they ask for money,
received that
they
in
ask for
right.
money quarterly or something, is that what you're
Normally,
saying?
yes.
Normally, yeah.
but at last, the balance that you sent to us, I think Mr. Miller was one of the last ones that sent it over, they had way in excess of that.
We did receive some information from, who's on the board there?
Mary Silver.
Mary, yeah, remember she had sent she gave us a couple months ago, what was the balance in there?
It would have been the quarterly that everybody.
Yeah,
sent.
quarterly report, yeah.
It's been a while
It's-
since they've upgraded that equipment up there.
Yeah.
And this is gonna give them the ability to, they can actually start this from there, you know, if they can't
Oh,
make
I
it
have no
here,
problem with it.
yeah.
So I guess the question is, do we need to do anything with this? Because if they do have the money in the account,
I
is
think,
there
but
anything
I think
that we
we
need?
should, at this meeting, you know, give them the go-ahead to go ahead and do it and authorize it for Michelle to pay it.
yep, I'm okay with that.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Go ahead,
yeah.
good job.
And Luke, I noticed, I was watching a pretty recent meeting, you've got banners and you've got, I mean, it just looked clearer, are you tweaking it as you go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you ever see me up there, but I'll try to move the cameras around whatnot, so, you know, if someone comes up to the board and sits down, I have that usually picture in picture. I want to make it a little bit more professional looking, more production-esque, if that makes
Yeah.
sense at all.
Mhm.
Because right now, I mean, it's just stationary, so I'm down here, obviously.
Right.
But, yeah, I just want to make everything look nicer and functional, so.
Yeah, when you get the new
How's
stuff,
this, how, is this, you have like any of the sound issues? Cause it seems to be the
So, yeah, so
sound
we've
issue.
been having a lot of issues. A lot of it has been due to us getting new equipment and whatnot. We had an encoder that got fried, so we had the town hall, that's why town hall street wasn't working for
Okay.
about a month. But that's all fixed. Zoom, we would have issues with audio with that. That was an easy fix, but it seems like a lot of the issues have just been coming in at once. But a lot of them have been fixed, and so.
Well, it sounds like you guys are doing a good job, so.
Can I ask him a question about Zoom, just real quick, because I wanna know what's the easiest transition as far as, I've got the Zoom account and the password which I've given to
Yep.
you, okay? How does a land use or a conservation commission or somebody set up their meeting, so when they have that itinerary and it's got the Zoom meeting on it, how do they do that? Do they get it to you, or do you send it to them?
So I was a little confused on that myself.
Yeah.
Right now, there's 4 scheduled meetings that, I mean, we can schedule several meetings, it'd just be easy. If they have the account, they just click on schedule meeting and then press start meeting. It'd be very easy to just do that. Or if they want us to do it, we could just, you know, say, hey, we need a meeting set up, all right, that's great, have it go at, you know, whatever time.
Because I think I have it set up where our meetings are the same all the time, but they don't generate a new meeting, so they don't need to change their paperwork.
Yeah, they're constant.
They're constant, so
Yes.
if they have that specific link, they can put it on all of their itineraries,
Yes,
doesn't matter.
So,
And then you can start it for them.
Yep, so like planning board has their own, I believe, conservation has their own, obviously selectmen has their own, and I think the ZBA has one as well.
The assessors also.
Yes, assessors as well.
So are you saying they have their own fingerprint for Zoom? I thought we had one Zoom account.
We have one Zoom account, however, we have separate meetings within that one account.
Oh, okay.
So, the links are typically different.
Oh,
They
okay.
could all be the same if you want to, just easier, I think, in case someone else comes along,
Like a directory.
Yeah,
You're right, that's a better word, thank you.
and unfortunately, that's where we ran into a jam. Wasn't your fault, wasn't our land use clerk's fault, but during that massive Pine River Pond, he had sent it, he was doing what he thought he was right. He sent it to our .com. The .com email to
It's
Amber
gone
was
now.
dead, and it had to go to .gov, so she never got it. So it went out on the invite as the So anyway, we've straightened that out, we've fixed that, so. And I know you were there, I just wanted to let the other board members know that you did a great job. You were thrown right in the fire on a very hot, very busy, very contentious meeting, and you did a great job.
You
So
did a good job.
that was all planned by us, by the way. We were testing you, so thank you for that.
Yeah, good job.
A little bit more on the public comment.
Yep,
Monday nights, I know that on your agenda, we'll have a selectmen's work session. Monday night at the Conservation Commission meeting, I had placed an application to be a recording secretary. It's been up in the bulletin board here for a while, and I watched a number of meetings where there was some complaints about not having the minutes and stuff like that. So, I figured I'd put in an application for that. There was one member who muttered a number of times under her breath, and it was derogatory, and it's if you're sitting as an appointee or an elected official at a public meeting, you really need to be able and willing to speak your mind loud and clear as part of the law. You can't be mumbling under your breath, especially when they're derogatory comments. If you can't be able to be accountable, you probably shouldn't be sitting when you're an appointed member or an elected member. Just follow the law. You're swearing an oath to follow the law. And I don't know, they're leaning toward AI, artificial intelligence. Not great for the environment. They still need a person to be printing things out, stapling them together, handing them out, filing them. So AI could be a good alternative, but at times I walk away from that whole conversation thinking no good deed goes unpunished. So I would strongly recommend that the Board of Selectmen hold everybody's standards to the same standard.
okay.
Yeah, the AI thing, that's something they just want to try. They want to try and.
I don't know what it is.
It's basically, it listens to the meeting and it creates a set of minutes, but what he's saying is that someone still has to go through and kind of check it to make sure that it's accurate. Rick's been doing that right now. He's not getting paid, but, they're trying it out. So if they feel like it's gonna be too much, they're gonna go back to the secretary thing. And Sasha actually said, let's just table it for now, and we'll bring it up after.
Okay.
So, I don't think, I think they just want to try it out, because,
I've never heard of
we've
that.
had trouble with hanging on to secretaries sometimes, and, appreciate, someone willing to put it in, but I think it's worth a shot just to try it.
I would be willing to do it free of charge, but it's only to help. It's not to and I could be quiet as a secretary.
Yeah, I don't think you should have to do it for free. No,
Yeah.
it's a paid position, Ralph, and I know that you would do it for free, that's the person you are, but I just don't think you should have to. So. But thanks for offering.
All in all, I think it was just the professionalism was a little bit lacking.
Okay. All right, town administrator update.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, the opportunity. Starting out with the big topic of the last couple of weeks is the roof replacement. The town hall is coming to a completion. The new roof is looking better than we had expected. I think we would all agree on that. A large thank you to the GM of the project, Dennis Richter. He's been very, very responsive to all my questions and concerns during the entire process. I want to thank him. I talk with him every day. We have a briefing either in person or on the phone. Some nails are starting to kind of travel across the street because when they ride that boom over, they fall off the boom. So he got right on that. They have, you've seen them.
Metal, they have a magnet.
Yeah. So they did that over there. They've done it around here. So I think the nails have only gotten one victim so far, and it's been me. So we're lucky. We're lucky, and I won't be asking for a tire. That's okay. Let's see. We have a big thank you to Brock and his DPW team who were responsible for the refurbishing of that eternal flame of truth that Mr. Fogg had mentioned at the beginning. This is located at the very top of the bell tower. Those people that hadn't seen it before, they'll see it now for sure. It's going to really pop out. That was a real hard thing. A couple of leads that we had for people to clean that, they didn't pan out. There's not a lot of people that do that anymore. And we were really surprised how thin that is. It's very, very thin. You look at it in person on the ground, you think it's going to be 50, 60 pounds. It's maybe 20 pounds. It's so thin.
Wow.
So the guys took their time and they really brought it back and shined it. And then put a coat over
Who
that.
did it?
Who did it?
These guys or us?
Our guys, our
guys.
DPW guys, yeah, our DPW guys. And it should be noted for the minutes, and we'll have this recorded with the town clerk as well. Our former town clerk just said that's a good idea to do. The inside of the Eternal Flame has become a small version of a time capsule. We have placed some artifacts inside the flame referencing our 250th celebration held last year. For example, the proclamation that the governor signed, that we have the original copies right out here. One of those is rolled up and put inside the flame. This, of course, it's not a time frame in which we're asking people to go up and grab the flame to be reopened, but I do want it noted in the minutes, and we'll mention it to the clerk as we move into the town's second 250 years. Under the Flames triangle attached, you'll see the town hall's 250th celebration, the coins.
Coins?
So each side has the coins on it. And today, yours truly went up in the boom, and I secured a license plate, the 250th license plate, to the town hall, and then we put the cone over that. So in 250 years, when that gets cleaned again, somebody's going to be surprised. So we're real excited about that, and I'm excited for the townspeople to see that. It truly is a centerpiece of our town. Departments have been meeting with the CIP group to discuss each department's future expenditures and capital reserves. I too will be meeting with the CIP to discuss some future improvements of the town hall, specifically the steps. I think we're going in the right direction with this building, so let's look at getting some prices for the steps and shoring that up.
And we're not talking just the steps as much as the walls, right, and the pillars?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I said steps,
they're
but yes.
definitely in dire need of
They are in
some help.
dire need, for sure. An update, there is a, this is just for the board's knowledge, but I think Mark might know this. There's a private birthday party being held at GWRC Center this Saturday, and there's beer and wine. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. We've approved that in the past, so that's a private party. Some ideas, some dates I would like the board to be aware of and perhaps check their schedules. These dates will be for a meeting with the department heads to review each department's budgets. I did email that to you, sent you a couple emails with the dates, so you have them in your computer, but the dates are September 23rd, 25th, and 30th, and October 1st and October 7th if needed. Tony reminds me that we got them all done in 4 days last year, okay? And Teresa, they usually start between 5 and 6, but if you're like a 5:30 get home,
I'm out of here. I'm gone for 2 weeks.
that's why you were giving me the stink eye? Okay.
Oh,
When?
The 20th through the 30th, 32nd.
So those aren't good dates.
They're not if I need to be there, but I mean, I'm sure that I can figure out everything before then. And
Well, this is Tony and all of her wisdom. She brought it to me early, so we can have that discussion. So.
Typically, but we usually done by when? Mid-October or?
Yes, because the budget committee will start meeting that last week in October.
Right.
I've gotta get them the budget a week before.
So what if we could just hold off and just bang it out?
I don't care, and I don't care that I necessarily get to be there. I think that, I can look
Well,
at
I
it
think
and
it'd
make
be
those.
great to have you there, I mean,
I can't.
Can we
This
scrunch
has
it
been
all in
planned for 6
October?
months.
You're back
That's what I'm
October
asking.
2nd, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I won't be back until the first of the month.
Well, why don't we,
October.
Yeah, I
let's
leave the
not
19th.
rush and do a date right now, because what Tony has to do is she has to make sure that it doesn't crunch us with all of our deadlines. I
Yeah.
know that's what's running
Yeah.
through your head right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, she can work on that.
And I
on
don't
Friday.
care if we do a couple in near future,
Yeah,
real quick, and if I miss one or something, that's fine.
But they probably don't have their budgets ready yet.
I've only got a couple in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're the tiny ones
Yeah,
right now.
and that's, yeah, that's the thing, if you had something maybe, like the 17th,
Because our first
16,
meeting is,
17.
what, the 9th? That's with me and my selectmen's rep for the budget committee?
They have not set their dates yet.
Oh.
They would, oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
the ninth.
Yes, we're meeting the 9th
9th,
in order to, one of the things to do is to set some meeting
some
dates.
dates.
They would normally meet by October 31st.
right.
They always.
starting
the
that,
last-
yeah, that
they
first
always meet
Saturday, and then that,
Last Saturday of October.
Mhm.
The problem is if they don't meet that early, then they get backed up into the holidays, and they
Right.
don't wanna do that.
and you need time from the time that we meet with the department heads to get the stuff together, to get to
I've gotta
the
have
couple weeks to,
Well, not a couple of weeks. I have it in here that that I should, if they were gonna meet the 23rd, that I should have it to the 17th, give them a week.
oh, you're thinking that they'll start their meetings October 23rd, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's when you build the books, right?
Yeah, and the problem is if they
Oh, I
push,
thought they
even
did.
if they push it out a week, then that could crunch them to get it all done before.
Yeah, don't let me screw it up where because I can definitely look into it before then, and you guys can,
Well, I'm just looking at October, and you're gonna be back the first, you
yeah.
said? We could start, are you gonna be here the first, or?
I'll be here, yeah, I'll be back on the 30th, so I'll be
Okay.
here for the first.
So we could do Wednesday and Thursday, and then we could do,
You have somebody has planning board Thursday. I
I
don't know
was
what
saying,
they
I
might have
can't, I
going.
can't do the first, actually,
no, you can't. Well, then we got that whole week, we got a selectmen's meeting on the 8th.
But you could do the 6th and the 7th.
Yeah, we'll do the 6th and the 7th, and
Well, yeah.
that's what I'm saying, we could probably, if all the budgets are in, we could probably do it in 1 week.
I mean, even if there was something that you had available, I mean, we don't have to do it all in a row, if you did like September 16th, 17th, that time frame before you go,
Yeah,
and hit a couple of them, if some
Yeah,
Some of them were
some of the
done?
smaller budgets are gonna.
If some of them were
yeah.
done, and then we pause, and then we come back and do 6th and 7th,
okay,
that's 4 days.
that's more than time enough, we've always been able to do it in a couple of days.
So that's up to, you guys can talk
Okay.
about that tomorrow, if that's timing. Your question on what time I can get here, most of those days I am in office and I don't get out till 4, so 5:15 earliest.
We'd make it 5:30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to be
Yeah.
safe, be
Yeah.
fine, unless
And
you
you're
wanna
still
start
good.
without me.
You're
Yeah.
still good with your times, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I can do any time.
Anytime.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, so 5:30 would be the best if we could.
okay, thank you for
give you a
that,
little
No,
bit of
thank
a
you.
buffer.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bearing with
Give
me.
you a little bit of a
Yeah.
buffer.
Yeah,
Let's
okay,
see.
you never know.
Oh, yeah, I guess everyone wanted me to bring this up. Before we go into the budget season, here at the town hall, we thought it'd be fun
Oh, I wanted to hear
to have a
this.
lasagna contest with the judges being the police department, fire department, and DPW. 7 lasagnas were entered, and we had some very, very good lasagnas entered. And I'd like to announce that Michelle Daigle from Finance Department took first place trophy with her lasagna. Congrats to all that applied, a job well done, And apparently they had fun.
So you're telling me the Italian stallion had no placement?
That is my report.
Oh, you don't want to talk about that?
Any leftovers?
No.
Didn't it smell like
Actually,
Italian when
The
you came in the
Italian
room?
stallion did not place. Did he place?
Did you have second and
His
third or no?
lasagna was wonderful.
She's the best.
And warm.
We didn't do a second and third. It was just,
No, just
out of a possible 70 for a score, Michelle got a 47. She got first place. So good for her. Good for her. Well deserved.
Yes.
So just kind of, what was your number?
I am not telling you my number. It's like asking a lady her age. I am not telling you. Never. Matter of fact, I've already shredded those sheets, and Tony's the only one that knows about it. Take it to your grave.
Does your mother know this?
No, she finds out tomorrow.
Well, I think it was a wonderful idea,
Yeah.
and I think it's a great camaraderie to
Yeah.
bring all of you guys together, doing something like that. That's a lot of
It's like a
fun.
team building.
It
thing.
is good team building, and I think that's important here. So, good time of the year to do it.
Right.
Like you said, right before budget season.
Well,
and
I think it
summer's
was
winding
kind
down,
of mean
so.
that we didn't have one of the last pieces or something to try ourselves as a
There might be
board.
more in this building that we could find for you, but the ladies did a great job. Did you guys take a little bit of everybody's? Yeah, they did a great job. Oh, and by the way, big thank you to Lino. I mean, he went out and bought us the 4 chafing dishes and
Oh.
the silverware and the serving stuff, and
Nice.
all we had to do was just kind of run and grab it. And he heated up all the lasagnas.
I was
They
wondering
were
how you
taking
did
out
that.
of they were taken out of what they were brought in. They were put into a neutral pan. They were all heated, and
But you guys got real critical.
Wow, they
oh
did.
yeah, we had to.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was serious business.
It was.
We gave him a tray of leftovers as a thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just think my DPW guys should stick to hot dogs and beer because they can't.
They don't know the difference.
They don't know the difference between a good lasagna.
Meats.
Mine was meatless.
Yours-
Meatless.
That's what killed me.
Yeah.
That's no wonder why.
That's what killed me. That's how I was raised. I'm sorry. All right, is this meeting over?
10 minutes to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, are you done with your?
Oh, well, I'm done, Jerry.
Building permit releases?
No.
None. Payment manifest. I have one here for $138,672.51. Can I get a motion to carry that one?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
I also have a treasurer's payroll warrant for $141,005.48. Can I get a motion to carry that one, please?
I'll make that motion.
No.
Second.
Oh, earlier.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have another payroll here. Oh, wait, we got a lot of these $100,000 ones, huh? Payroll, treasurer's warrant for $138,484.99. Can I motion to carry that one, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
These goes
Aye.
with that, I think.
Now I got a big one. I thought those were big.
I think this goes with.
No, it's the school one, I think.
I think
Yeah, that
goes
package goes with
okay,
all
with
them
one
right
of
there.
the,
Yep.
okay.
I got one here, treasurer's warrant for $289,973.58. Can I get a motion to carry that one, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Board of Selectmen's draft minutes for August 13th, 2025. We were all present.
And
Yeah, pleasant.
And we're all pleasant
We're all
also.
present.
I think we're all tired.
We are.
Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have draft non-public for August 13th, 2025. I have draft 1, draft 2, draft 3. For non-publics, can I get a motion to accept those, please?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Workman session, I'll just start real quick just to get this out. If anybody, my planning board, just in case anybody doesn't know it yet, the gun range applicant has withdrawn his application to do a, I think he got scared. But, yeah, he withdrew his application, so that is no longer a thought. So everybody can relax and finish enjoying their summer. If he was to ever bring it up, he'd have to go through the entire process again. It has been withdrawn, so that is gone. And that's pretty much the highlight of that department. Brock is, like I said, he's doing the edging. The DPW is doing all the edging. He's up in East Wakefield now. He's actually up on Pine River Pond Road. They started that today, and they're going back there tomorrow. I do think he's got a small issue with, I say small, it's small because it's with the grader. He's got a breakdown with it, and it's really broke. We're talking about a $15,000 to $20,000 repair, which I don't think he has the money for at the moment. He's gonna put it into next year's budget, and we'll go from there. But he's still able to do the edging and get that done, and he should have it pretty tied up here, wrapped up pretty soon. So.
Dana, did you happen to ask him about the tree growing up on High Street? The tree on High Street, on the road going up?
Yeah. No, I
Did
didn't
you happen to
finish.
mention?
No, I'm sorry, I haven't.
No, that's okay.
I haven't yet.
When you go up High Street, I noticed at last meeting when I left, right by Paul's house, there's like a tree coming up from the sidewalk and the road by a culvert. Like it's getting pretty big, so. It's
She's
not
growing.
probably a tree, it's probably just a big brush thing, but, what's that?
Happy little maple.
Yeah, something that decided to
Does
plant
it look
its.
like it's, I mean, I'll take a look, but does it look like it could fall and?
No, it's, it just looks like it'll keep growing and ruin the road
Oh, yeah.
eventually,
Mr. Duffy,
right?
do you
So
have
it's just
anything?
something like that, I don't even know
Yeah, I
how
got a
big
few
it really
things.
is, just needs to be
I'm
pulled
gonna
out.
try to go quick.
Paul Morrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
All right, so, last Saturday, I was pretty busy, was down there, went to Level Lake Association meeting. Then I went down to, the Heritage Day. We did the Remember When, it was pretty good, I wish more people were attending. Pam's probably gonna try to schedule that a little bit later, she thought it might have been a little bit earlier. But it was good, we had, Mr. Bancroft there, and he had a lot of, history in the town, even though he wasn't a true native of the town, and neither am I, but, we had some interesting stories. And one of the things I suggested is bring some pictures and stuff like that, memorabilia the next time. Pam thought that was a good idea. Then I went up to the Hour meeting. That was pretty well attended too, and Linda was there, and Linda was one that started that whole organization, and it was very well attended. It was right up there, up past the Province Lake Golf Course there in that barn
Yeah.
down the
oh,
street.
yeah, on the left there?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
nice.
that's a nice
They
place.
had a really nice
Nice in
venue
there.
there, so. That was good. That was, they were recognizing everybody that, was there and has contributed to it and stuff like that. And, so it was really good. It was very nice, and I was happy to see Linda there, and, and she was like passing the torch, so to speak, because she doesn't really she's not as involved as she was, but we had a couple good laughs, because, when she first came before the board, that was like, whoa, what's this? But it's worked out pretty good. They've done a lot of great projects around the lakes. They've helped out with people that had failing septics. They didn't pay for the whole thing, but they helped them out, So it's good for the lakes. That's all I can say about that. Concon meeting, Conservation Committee meeting. They went through 3 permits, and the campusship program seemed to be on a good track. They did bring up that plastic bag thing again. They've already made the 1,000 pounds, and so they're thinking they could probably do 2,000 pounds a year. So I just looked at it and said, listen, if you want the town to even look at this, we need to know what size that baler is, how much, poundage you think you're gonna get a year, how much is it gonna gain us, all right, we took 2,000 pounds out of the waste stream, or 1,000 pounds. what's it costing us to get it out of there, you know, so Josh understands that, he's gonna work with Mary on that and get us some numbers. The other thing they talked about was, the forestry plan, for Prairie Hill, and they really would like to see us have a licensed forester, give us an idea what, you know, I brought that up a couple times, you know, we should have a town forester, and, you know, that could be, it'd be like a lawyer thing, a retainer thing, so, you know, maybe we should think about putting a bid out there, but they would like to do that in the fall, so if we could get someone, if you know anybody, I don't know if you know anybody, I know there's a couple of locals here, but
Yeah, I only know a couple locals here too.
if we get a figure or something like that, then we could approve it. And
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to have the forester go in there because it just eliminates all the, you know, the thought process of it.
right, it's all laid out. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I was, you know, like, I had a forestry plan on a piece of property in Maine I was working with, and, you know, it was very detailed. It told you what trees were there, what the value of them
Yeah.
were, and where you should, you know, what you should do. You know, it's a pretty decent plan.
Maybe
So.
by putting it out for bid, or at least getting the word out, maybe we would get a little more in people that are interested in it, because I don't know many people that do that for a living. And I mean, does the state come out and do that? I thought that was a state.
There is a state
There is a
forest.
state
Yeah, we
forester.
talked about that before too, but, you know, I'd like to get this going on that because they really wanna do it and.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's put it out, have Dino put something out to see if we can get any response. I mean,
Okay.
at least we get a response and then.
Yeah, at least we know what we're dealing with, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
good thought.
Do I talk to Josh on that, Mark?
Yep. The other thing they talked about was they were going after a grant for, and they were talking about, you know, the Union Meadows project and how they wanted to enhance that down there. And I don't know if you know and if he talked to you about this, but what the classification of the grants are, because we, you know, we're putting in a grant with Northern Borders for the wastewater treatment plant, and they didn't want to kind of like step on our toes. But I think their project's probably a little bit less significant than ours, so I don't know if they categorize the.
They, from what I know about Northern Borders, they won't give two to one town. So and I had told that to Josh, but we didn't talk about the categories, but he understands. And he said the same thing, I don't wanna step on anyone's toes. It's really, what do
But
we
they
think?
gotta get something in by Friday is what
Do they?
Yeah.
What's the grant for?
It's for enhancing, you know, like, down in the Union Meadows, you know, they'd like to have almost like a little center down there. They were talking about other things, they were going outside of that. And it's, you know, it's like, that's when even Sasha, cause Sasha's the one that had been heading this up. He goes, we gotta shrink it down so that, you know, we don't have so many things involved, like they even brought up the Union Bridge, and I said, you know, we've already got a key on that, but that's way down the road. I'd still like to get Mr. Bean activated again and get that done, but,
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Bean is no longer, so,
yeah, I know, it's too.
No longer in business.
no longer in business.
Does he have
Oh, I was
anybody?
like, oh,
No, he's
He's probably
got-
down in South America or
That's,
something.
beaten,
Costa
begins
Rica.
with B,
Costa Rica? Oh, really?
Okay.
Belize.
Boy.
Belize.
Oh, it is Belize,
It's
you're right.
Belize,
You're right.
yeah.
But, the other thing we talked about was the filing cabinets. You know, we talked about the budget and how they had money left in the secretary line, and you know, I suggested if they really need them, you know, they could overexpend the office expense line, and you know, it would fall to the bottom.
I find it fascinating that the conservation, I mean, I'm guessing, but I always thought they had a ton of money. I mean, they have a lot of money in there.
Well, this is
You know,
coming
so-
out of their budget. Their
For
budget's
certain
only like
Say that again?
can only be used for certain things. The
Right.
money they have is from funds.
this is
right?
from their budget.
But they can't use it for conservation, like, things like that they need to run conservation?
I don't think so.
Not for operating
No.
costs.
Not for operating.
Oh, no kidding.
their-
So
their
they gotta
budget's
ask
like
the taxes, people for money
To
that they
purchase-
already got into a fund.
Well, to be fair, their budget's pretty small.
$3,035.
It's pretty small,
Yeah.
their budget,
Yeah,
Their operating budget.
yeah.
But I was doing some thinking about this, and the filing cabinets are there. I think their biggest concern is that they're accessible by anybody. And
Yep.
can you talk to the
I will.
downstairs and
I'm
see
gonna
if
do
they
it
can just
tomorrow.
move them?
Yep,
They're not locked?
No.
they're old
They're
ones, I
old,
don't know what
old?
the key, yeah, I don't know. what
That
the
way
keys
we
are.
wouldn't even have to expend a line, just get them out of here, and then they could budget for them.
where would they put them?
Would you
We
put
got
them-
some
Well, I'm thinking-
spaces downstairs,
You could put them downstairs.
yeah.
Can I add something to that? Because it's kind of, they came up here from downstairs because there was lack of room downstairs and there was a need for them in this room. Because during a Conservation Commission meeting, there might be a topic discussed, and with the files right here, if it was a historical item, you could walk over the files and open it up. They're indexed map and lots.
Mhm.
So for the ease of the Conservation Commission, some of us took the time and moved everything up here. And it helps create more room downstairs in the building department. And it serves the purpose here. These are public records, and when people, a butter or somebody in town needs to find some information regarding a project, they would either come to the town hall and speak to the clerk, or the administrative assistant in the selectman's office, or down at the building department. So to limit access to something that's been, access achieved is counterproductive. So, I mean, I just,
We're not limiting access, Ralph, it's just that the access to them is when they're not, anybody can come in here and just grab a bunch of those files and run home with them.
people certainly have.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so we need to, we don't need to limit the access, all we need to do is move them out of a public area where it's not monitored.
And just for some clarification, because it was one of the first things that I did with a little bit of authority when I started, because it was Victor that wanted them out because he had absolutely no space left.
Right.
So this was a spot that we picked. The fact that conservation could get to them during their meetings was just kind of an added bonus, if you will. But since then, all the cabinets that Victor was telling Peter that we could thin out have been thinned out, so we've got room now again. I'm hoping we have room.
Yeah, I don't wanna limit access to it,
That's what them things are right
That's what
there?
they are, right.
Oh, that's what we're talking
Right,
about?
and it wouldn't limit access to people because there's still hours that they could come
Yeah.
in. And what we're saying on this one, Ralph, people could come in, shut the door, we don't even know that they're there and go through stuff.
And there have been members that have come in thinking they had the authority to remove files and put them on dollies and actually wheel them out of the town hall. I, though, have come in seeking information in these cabinets right here, leaving the information in the cabinets once I found them. So, instead of bothering somebody else, I felt pretty comfortable, knowing how it's, and it's not completely foolproof as far as the indexing or anything like that.
But wouldn't you agree that you should tell somebody, whether it's Josh or Poppy, head into me and say, hey, I'm, doing this,
I was here one night, and they were talking about an index, and I reached over, I grabbed that green file, and there was a couple of members that, whoa, what are these files? It's like, okay, well, I'm in the files.
Well, like I say, I think they got a pretty active committee there, and they've requested it. They've requested that they be locked, and they don't like the fact that they're here, and just have people have open access to them without notification. It's just like when I go down to code enforcement, I have to go to Larissa and say, hey, I need to look at this file. She pulls it for me.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I kind of agree with them. I just don't think it's really that, to have them up here, I just think you're asking for someone to come in here and just pull something out of there and just walk away with it. But
There are things that I would think would be in there that I can't find, so, I do agree that there's access that should be agreed on. Maybe
Okay.
come in and an exam or something, so.
All right, that's all I
Okay.
got.
I agree, they should be locked.
Good job.
Yeah.
So you got anything?
I don't, no, I haven't talked to the chiefs.
You ready for Labor Day weekend?
I'm ready for Labor Day weekend, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're all
camping.
taking it off.
Yep,
No labor this
Friday to
weekend.
Monday.
Friday to Monday. Well,
Good
good.
stuff.
You know, he
Everybody,
didn't tell you about going up in the air. He did a great job up in the air on that.
Oh,
the
he
sky.
did?
oh, you went right up to the
That was
peak?
me,
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
I get the, I'm not sure of the tune, his knees were knocking his tune
No,
out, but.
it didn't bother me at all. Didn't bother me at all.
No?
No, it didn't.
It's a great view.
It's an amazing view. Saw most of Level Lake, saw the mountains over here.
Very
It's really
cool.
cool.
That's
Really
awesome.
neat.
Very
Thanks,
cool.
folks. Have a great night.
Night,
Yep.
Ralph.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Quick question.
yes.
Do
I'm
you,
gonna show you my computer
do,
too.
what campground do you use?
Let's shut these off. Yeah, you should.